Hi everyone, and welcome to this video. Today, we're tackling a very common and frustrating database error. The Microsoft.ACE.OLEDB.16.0 provider is not registered on the local machine. If you've seen this message, especially when trying to connect to Excel files or Microsoft Access databases from tools like SSIS, a C# application, or even some reporting services, you know how much of a roadblock it can be. Don't worry, we're going to break down what causes this error and, more importantly, how to fix it step by step. Let's get right into understanding what this message truly means for your system. First, let's understand what Microsoft.ACE.OLEDB.16.0 refers to. This is the Microsoft Access Database Engine 2016. It's a set of components that allows your applications to read and write data from Microsoft Office files, specifically Access databases, .act, .mdb, and Excel spreadsheets, .xlsx, .xls. When you see the not registered error, it simply means your system cannot find these necessary components, or it's trying to use the wrong version of them. There are two primary reasons why you encounter this specific error. The first and most common reason is that the Microsoft Access Database Engine 2016 redistributable is simply not installed on the machine where your application is running. Your system needs this specific driver to communicate with those file types. The second, and often more confusing, reason relates to bitness. This means you have a mismatch between the version of your application, whether it's 32-bit or 64-bit, and the version of the Access Database Engine installed, also 32-bit or 64-bit. For example, a 64-bit application cannot use a 32-bit driver, and vice versa, even if the driver is installed. This is a very frequent issue in environments like SQL Server Integration Services, SSIS, where the runtime can be 32-bit or 64-bit depending on how the package is executed. Now, let's move on to the solutions to get you back on track. Our main goal is to install the correct Access Database Engine. The first step is to download the Microsoft Access Database Engine 2016 redistributable. It's crucial to download this directly from the official Microsoft website to ensure you get a legitimate and safe version. Just search for Microsoft Access Database Engine 2016 redistributable and look for the official Microsoft download page. Once you're on the download page, you'll typically see two options, one for the 32-bit version, often labeled x86, and one for the 64-bit version, labeled x64. This is where the bitness mismatch issue comes into play. You need to choose the version that matches your application's bitness, not necessarily your operating system's bitness. If your application, like an SSIS package, a custom C# program, or even some reporting tools, is running as a 32-bit process, you need to install the 32-bit Access Database Engine. If your application is running as a 64-bit process, you must install the 64-bit Access Database Engine. If you are unsure, try installing the version that matches your operating system first, which is usually 64-bit for most modern machines, and then test. If the error persists, you might need to investigate your application's specific bitness. Be aware that sometimes, if you already have a 32-bit version of Microsoft Office installed, installing the 64-bit Access Database Engine might require special steps, like running the installer with the /quiet or /passive switch from the command line, or vice versa. After downloading the correct setup file, run it as an administrator. Follow the on-screen prompts to complete the installation. It's usually a straightforward process. Once the installation is complete, it's a good practice to restart your application or even your machine to ensure all changes are fully registered within the system. After the restart, try running your application or process again. If the issue was simply a missing driver or a bitness mismatch that you've now corrected, the error should be resolved. If you're working with older file formats, for instance, a very old Access database or Excel file, you might occasionally need to try installing older versions of the Access Database Engine, such as the 2010 or 2013 redistributables, but 2016 is generally the most common solution for modern systems. Thank you so much for watching this video. I hope this explanation and these steps help you resolve that frustrating Microsoft.ACE.OLEDB.16.0 provider is not registered error. If this video was helpful, please give it a thumbs up, share it with others who might need it, and don't forget to subscribe for more useful tips and tutorials. Your support helps us create more content like this. See you in the next video.